Ringneck pheasants were introduced into America from Asia in the 1880s. The males sport iridescent copper and gold plumage, a red face, and a crisp white collar. Their rooster-like crowing can be heard from up to a mile away. The brown females blend in with their field habitat. Pheasants quickly became one of North America's most popular and demanding upland game birds. Hey everyone, welcome back to Wild Game Cooking. Hope you enjoyed last month's issue, and I hope you're practicing those knife skills. That's really important. You want to stay confident, comfortable, and safe with your knives. That's a big plus when you're cooking your meals. As promised, we're going to roast a pheasant this month. The pheasant is absolutely America's most demanding game bird, whether it's stock birds on the East Coast or if it's wild birds through the Dakotas. It's absolutely an exciting game bird for both young and old. So let's talk about preparation of the bird first. The first thing you want to do, if you notice right away, I have my bird separated from all my other ingredients on a separate cutting board. You don't want the poultry police coming to get you. So we want to make sure we keep that separated, no cross-contamination with the other ingredients. You want to make sure you take the bird out of the freezer if it's frozen, and you want to let it defrost in the refrigerator for about 3 days. Before we start preparing our pheasant, let's talk a little bit about organization. You know, when I first started cooking, I was totally unorganized, and I didn't have everything in place. And that caused me to burn a lot of dinners and mess a lot of my preparations up. Making sure you have all your ingredients out and in place is a critical component of cooking. As a matter of fact, the French have a term for it. It's called mise en place, which basically translates into everything in place. Okay, we're all set to start preparing the bird. But let's talk about the ingredients first. We have it all laid out, all ready to go. Our mise en place is in place, and our ingredients are ready to go. We're gonna have some orange juice, fresh squeezed orange juice, a few sprigs of thyme, maybe about half a stalk of celery, orange cut in half and then cut into 2 pieces. And I just drained those, I squeezed those oranges into here for the juice. We'll use them inside the cavity. And then about maybe half a carrot and about half an onion. We might have a little bit too much onion, but that's fine. And we're gonna have some bacon we're gonna strap over the top. Of course, some salt and some freshly ground pepper. And my little special ingredient from one of my favorite chefs, Emerald. This is his Creole seasoning. I'll put the recipe up and you can, this is a little secret that don't tell a lot of people about because I'll be telling everybody. We want to definitely use this. This is one of my favorite seasonings for everything that I do, whether it's poultry, big game, everything. Okay, so let's start getting the bird ready for the roasting. We're gonna fill the cavity up with some salt. We're gonna make sure that the salt is in there nice and liberally. Remember, salt is going to enhance taste, and then black pepper is going to change taste. So we don't want to really use a lot of black pepper. And I just use some freshly ground black pepper inside the cavity. I'll take my orange slice and I'll put that down in there nice and tight because I want that body to fill up. That's going to actually give us an advantage when we're cooking. It's going to be a nice even cook. We'll put some of that onion in there. Make sure you pack it down in there good. Get that pheasant to have a nice shape to it. Some rough cut carrots, a little bit of celery, and some thyme. And we want to get that thyme in there. That thyme is really going to give that pheasant a nice aromatic smell and taste. So we're all set. We got our pheasant all stuffed, and then we're gonna truss it up, and I'll show you that next. Okay, so let's truss the bird. I already have some twine pulled off, and we want to make sure that we pull off enough. We never want to have not enough and then have to come back and get some more. If we have extra, we can always cut it. Okay, so we make sure the bird's facing us and we're in a good position. Okay, we go around the back of the bird. I like to go under the bird here because you'll see that'll pull that opening and that cavity tight. And then I just go around the legs in a figure 8 motion and just tighten it up. And you'll see everything will pull nice and tight. Okay, we don't want to go too tight, but we want it tight that the cavity is closed. Okay, and that's nice. And that's going to give that pheasant a nice form, and it's going to give it a chance to cook evenly. and that's the most important thing. We want it to cook evenly, okay? Next thing I like to do is just take a little bit of the orange juice and just do a little bit inside, just a little tiny bit. Anything you can do to get more flavor into the bird is a good thing. Okay, so we're all set. We're going to put it into our roasting pan, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're not going to use our standard oven. We're going to use our wood-burning grill in the back, which should add a fantastic flavor to it. If you were using your standard oven, you would have already been preheating it to about 500 degrees. I'm actually preheating my grill right now. It gets up to about 450 degrees, so my cook time is going to be a little bit longer, but not much. Okay, our pheasant's looking good. So we got it on our roast pan. We're ready to take it out to our grill. One final thing we want to do is we want to make sure we get some good kosher salt or sea salt and liberally coat the outside of the pheasant. That's going to give us that nice crispy skin. And when you're coating anything with salt, never be down here because you're just localizing the salt. So what I do is I get up high and I just, like a snowflake, snowstorm, and I really coat that up, and it kind of goes real nice and evenly all over the bird. Then I'll take some nice fresh ground pepper around the bird. Again, remember, liberal with the, or not so liberal with the pepper, because that's going to change the taste. But what I do like to do, again, is my favorite little ingredient is Emerald's Creole seasoning, and I just kind of splattered that on there, just a little bit, not too much. Well, that's looking good. I'll give a little smack, and then I'll take a few slabs of bacon, and I'll just place them over top of the pheasant. This is going to give a real nice, smoky taste to the pheasant. And the fact that we're using a wood-fired grill is going to make this pheasant delicioso. So we're all ready to go outside. You got to excuse me. I picked probably the most rainiest day we've had on the East Coast in a while. So we're in the middle of a monsoon, but we're under a cover. We'll take it outside. We'll get it cooking. We're going to cook it probably about an hour. It could be, like I said before, we're using a little bit lower temperature than the 500-degree oven. So we should be about like 425, 450 on our Traeger. So that should take about an hour. You want an internal temperature of about 165 degrees. Okay, and that's going to be a nice, lean pheasant cooked to perfection. Okay, so let's take it outside. Okay, so here we are. We're in our Traeger. We got it warmed up about 15 minutes. It's nice and hot. We're gonna open it up. And we're going to place the pheasant inside. What we're going to do is we're going to roast this for about 15 minutes. And then we're going to come back out, take the bacon off, put it back in, and put it in for another 30, 40 minutes. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes, so let's see how we're doing here. Yeah, let's get that bacon off. Always have your tools ready. Let it cook for another about 30-40 minutes. You know, cooking can be a lot of fun, and it can bring a lot of happiness to you, your friends, and your family. The last thing you want to do is be making someone sick from your lack of attention to detail or your lack of cleanliness. So right now we're waiting for our pheasant to roast. I had an opportunity now to clean up. Clean your dishes, put them aside, clean your workspace, get ready for that next segment of what your cooking process is. But the number one thing is just keep your hands clean, okay? Especially in today's environment, we definitely want to keep our hands clean. If we're going from different proteins to cutting up our vegetables, or if we're going from a poultry to another type of protein, we want to make sure that our hands are clean and dry. Keep your workspace safe and clean. Keep yourself safe and clean, and everyone will enjoy your cooking. You know, cooking is fun for me, and I try to make it as enjoyable as I possibly can. I I like preparing meals for my family. I like seeing people happy. If you're not feeling good that day, you're a little miserable, a little cranky, you might want to just forget about cooking and go order a pizza, because it will show in your food. Be happy, your food will be happy, and your family and friends will enjoy your meals. Also, stop. While your pheasant is roasting, have a glass of wine. Today I'm just drinking a glass of Rioja, a Spanish wine from the northern part of Spain. And don't forget to check out our Finer Things editor, Steve Knack. He'll tell you all about wines and how to pair them with food. And I think this month he's actually doing a whole section on Malbecs in Argentina. You don't want to miss that. So the next time, stay happy, be happy, and your food and your friends will be happy. Perfect. All right, here it is, right off the grill. Beautiful browning all around the whole pheasant. That Traeger grill does a great job. Just put it in there, close the lid, check on it every so often, and you're gonna get a nice evenly browned bird that smells amazing. I have that wood flavor coming from the grill, all the aromatics that I put in there, the orange, the carrot, the onion. I wish you guys could smell that. Perfect. Anyway, so when I get it out, I just let it sit for about 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, let it rest before I start to carve it. And then you're going to get a nice even slicing of the bird, not flaking off. That gives the bird a chance to kind of come together a little bit and seal in all those juices and those aromatics. One thing you want to make sure that your proper temperature, like I said, about 165. You can use the electronic or a digital thermometer. I like this one from Thermopro. You just stick it right in there, boom, 165, take it off. If you don't have that, you can just use a little paring knife and just kind of slice into the bird. And if the juices kind of run clear, you're good to go. If they're kind of murky a little bit, then, put it back in, let it cook for a few more minutes. So let's get into carving this thing and try it. Okay, so we got the bird untrussed here. We're going to carve it a little bit. Again, you can serve this with a nice wild mushroom rice. Would be perfect. Some sauteed or grilled asparagus. Perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do is just going to take a little piece off. Let's take the leg off first. What I do is I take the leg down and I try to get the leg to just break the knuckle. Okay, once I break the knuckle, and you'll hear it break when it does. You've got to be careful because it's a little hot. I use the knife a little bit there. You hear it break there, and then there's a little membrane in there between the knuckle, and we just cut that out. And that's perfect. Perfectly done. Wow. That's my favorite part, is the leg. The dark meat I just love. And a little bit of slice here. My dog wants some. And okay, got a little piece here. Let's try it. Ooh, nice and hot. Oh my. Juicy, but I got it off at the right temperature, 165. You don't want to overcook these birds. If you overcook them, you're done. They're going to come out dry. So nice and perfectly moist. The leg, again, the leg's probably the best part. And of course the skin, which is bad for you, but that's still good. So here's our roasted pheasant. I hope you enjoy it. Again, serve it with some wild mushroom rice, some grilled asparagus, and you got a perfect meal for your family. One final word before we go. Cooking is about fun and having a good time and presenting a great meal like this to your family. If you're not feeling really good that day, maybe don't cook, because it'll show in your food. Maybe order a pizza that night, okay? When you're feeling good and you're cooking, it'll come out in your food, and your family and your friends will love your meals. So stay happy, and we'll see you next month. We're going to do a comfort food next month. Baked ziti with venison and wild boar. See you next month.